Hey everybody, it's Angela, and I am going to do another kind of a mixed media layout, like the grunge layout that I did, except this one's going to be a little more feminine and softer colors, and I don't really have a very good setup to do process videos, but I'm going to try to do as much of this on camera as I can, and so I apologize if some of the camera angles aren't the best or whatever, but I'm just going to work with what I've got and then maybe edit it together so that, you know, it'll give you at least more of an idea of what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. So I've printed out a few things, and I'm using this digital collection from Scrap Girls. This is the Birdsong collection, and it's got all these nice blues and oranges and browns in it, really soft colors, and I like all the little bird images, and it can just be used for anything because I don't know at this point exactly what photos I'm going to use for this. I'm going to, you know, just do some playing with the multimedia or mixed media stuff. So I'm just kind of playing at this point. So I used, let's see, I printed out this sheet of paper. It's got, I made it, originally it is this blue one here, but on my computer I changed it to a more neutral, kind of a taupey, almost gray color, because I really wanted a lighter background, something to put the modeling paste on and to really play with the sprays, and I'm going to use the colored sprays, so I kind of just desaturated, lightened this one, kind of turned it, like I said, more of a taupey color. And so that's the background, and it does, when I print this, it does leave a little edge on here, and I'm going to cut that off, and since I'm going to distress this and rip it and stuff, I want the edges to be smaller anyway because I'm going to mount this on cardstock when I'm all done, because this is going to get all warped, and mounting it on the cardstock is going to help flatten it out, so I'm not concerned about this little edge. And then the elements that I'm going to use, I just made a 8.5 by 11 inch file and pulled over this same paper as my background. And the reason I did that was because I'm thinking I might use this floral flourish, and I didn't want to print this onto white because I am not going to fussy cut out all these little interior spots. I'm just going to kind of maybe do, I'm sorry about that, a rough cut around the edge. So I didn't want this to be stark white behind. I wanted it to be able to match into this background paper I've got. So I just used the same background paper to place all of my digital embellishments. And that way when I cut around it, it's not going to, you know, make any difference whether I cut exact or not. It's going to blend into the background color because it's already got the same paper behind it. So I hope that makes sense. But anyhow, so I printed all the birds, and on this one I flipped the image because there were three facing one way and one facing the other, and I want to make sure I got another one, you know, facing that, because I don't know exactly where they're going to go and how I'm going to want them to face on my finished project. So I went ahead and just gave myself some options, and if I don't use them, I'll fussy cut them and put them in my my little element scrap bin that I pull from on other projects. And then the reason I printed the fence out twice is I want to cut this out, and then I'm going to cut this one. I'm just going to cut the pickets and use dimensional adhesive to lift them up, so it'll, and then, you know, stick them over the top of this other one to give it a more dimensional fence look. So that's the reason I printed that twice. So then I just printed that out, and now I'm going to, you know, start cutting all this out and doing my fussy cutting, and then I will come back and show you what I'm going to do after that. Okay, so now that I've got all my pieces cut out and I've got my picket fence kind of up on pop dots to give it some dimension, I am just going to go around all the outside edges of my paper with my Tim Holtz distressor. And now that I think I'm done spraying for the moment, and I'm not sure if I got all of it on camera because my camera card ran out of memory, so I've deleted some old stuff that I had left on my card, and so now I'm going to go ahead and dry this up. Okay, now that I've got a little bit of color on this, and I'm going to spray more here in a little bit, but first I am going to put some of this Liquitex modeling paste and this stencil that I just recently got from Sa Crafters, and I'll put a link to her store, but it's this really pretty, like a, I don't know, I guess maybe like a dogwood blossom or cherry blossom, or, you know, it could be pretty much anything. So I'm going to use that, and I have a palette knife, and I'm just going to start putting some of this down. Now I'm going to start using the stencil. Okay, now that I've got my texture paste mostly dry, I'm going to go back and spray some more. I'm not really liking the colors that I got the first time around, so I am going to soften down some of them with this kind of light brown color. This is the Clam Bake Beige. So I'm just going to put that, and then I think I will go with the Cape Cod Coral for my orange color. Probably darker up in that corner. And then for the blue, I didn't really like the patina blue. The electric blue, I think, was the one that I liked. The electric blue or the chalkboard. Hold on. That's okay. A little bit of that. You try the chalkboard. Go a little stronger with the blue down there. And then I'll kind of just mix everything a little bit with this brown. That's a little better. And then my green, so I'm just kind of having orange, the blue and green. I hate it when it does that. It's too spotty on me. Take a piece of paper towel and just kind of blot that a little bit. One thing about these backgrounds, you know, it kind of fades back once you start getting all of your photos and other things on here later. And I really like how this blue and the brown are kind of going around the flowers there. Put a little this brighter orange up there. Soften it with some of this. And a little more of this. And then I think I'll go over it again with the brown to kind of, like I did with the blues. Is it this one, the leather, or the, now I can't remember which one I used. Was it the leather or this one? I think it was this one. Maybe. I don't know. That's the fun. She get to play with all of these. I think it was the tattered leather. Now I'm going to just kind of tilt this. Sorry about the view, guys. But I'm just kind of tilting this and kind of letting the colors kind of run together and blend. And I'm kind of liking that. I don't know if I want to put any gold shimmer in there or not. I think I want to kind of leave some of the white showing up through. And okay, I'm going to go ahead and dry this and I'll be... Okay, so I've pulled out a piece of gray cardstock that I want to mount my paper on. And I've also pulled out a bunch of Wild Orchid craft flowers that kind of go with my color scheme, and a couple laces that I got from Tammy, who's Tatsy2 here on YouTube. Thank you, Tammy. And I'm going to go ahead and start putting some of these elements together. Okay, so I had a little bit of a learning curve on doing this process video, as you can probably tell, and I didn't have the end footage. Somehow that got lost or didn't get recorded. So, but I got most of my process on the video, which I'll splice together. So anyhow, I wanted to just do a walkthrough of the final product. And as I was putting the flowers in, it really kind of started to speak to me because my mother-in-law really loves the peach colors, and the picket fence and stuff just reminded me of this photo of where my mother-in-law used to live with the picket fence in front. And then so I decided that I'd give this one to my mother-in-law, and I don't know if you've seen my previous video, but I'm trying to send her a card or a goodie each week because she's elderly and she kind of misses us, and so I just try to send her a little happy mail every week. So I think this is going to be her happy mail for this week. And I'll probably include, I have to look at the store, include an easel, like one of these, so that she can set it on the easel and be able to look at it. And then I can send her different layouts in the future and she can change out what's on the easel. So anyhow, I went ahead and I put all the flowers and I lifted up the fence so that the flowers kind of go behind and in front of the fence. I gathered some more of this lace. I just hand gathered it in a couple different spots to make these little fans, and then I have some coming out of this torn section here and a little bit out of this torn section up here. I then took some of these little baby pearls on a strand that I got from Tammy at Tatsy 2, and I just kind of strung those around and through the flowers and around the fence. Then I took the little birds that I had cut out, and I've got one of them here and one of them up here on top of this tear. This one's up on pop dots, and so is this little guy here. And then this one I stuck over here, and I put a little metal Recollections piece that I've just put a little bit of cream color paint on to tone down the gold. And it's a little nest, so he's kind of like sitting on this little nest, or she, or he, I don't know, sitting on this little nest of eggs here. And then I've got this other one kind of clinging to the side and kind of overlapping the photo just a little bit. And this is my mother-in-law and her parents and her two brothers, so I thought she would really enjoy seeing that old photo and the old photo of the house where she grew up. And essentially, let's see here, what else did I put in here? I've got some little pearls from a piece of junk jewelry that I took apart, and I've just kind of scattered them throughout the flowers. And then also I have this metal piece, this bow with a little blue piece of bling in there, and it's metal and it was gold, and I also kind of whitewashed it with a little bit of white paint. Then I just matted the two photos, and this one's up on pop dots, and I think that's about it. I really like how it turned out. There's a lot to look at. You'll be able to really sit and look at this and enjoy the dimension in the flowers. And oh, I did put a little bit of stickles. I don't know if you can see it on the birds and some on the tops of these wild orchid craft flowers. And so just touches of the orange and blue, since those were kind of my dominant colors in this layout. And that's pretty much the whole thing. If you have any questions, please leave me a comment below. And thank you so much for watching. Bye.